So, following on from my guides on building your Railjack, learning to fly it, and of course the best intrinsics to get first, it's time to look at the new damage model for all weapons during Railjack missions, because they've only gone and renamed everything basically Railjack Damage 1.0. Welcome on in, you beautiful feckers, how you all doing? So, the damage model from the base game isn't the same for Railjack. Enemies and ships scale differently and are much tankier, and the big thing to remember is that when using your arcguns in Railjack missions, its damage types are going to be different. You won't get the radiation status effects or corrosive or magnetic or viral. There is no dual stat status effects in Railjack, no elemental combo. So there are 7 new or renamed damage types and stats for us to learn. This is them. Now you can see these elements on the stat tab for Railjack guns, but not for your arc guns, because that would be helpful, I guess. So I would imagine that will be added in at some point in a later date. So when modding your arc guns, it's good to know that the values of these 7 new damage types are based off your existing impact, puncture, slash and elemental mods on your arc gun build. Particle, ballistic and plasma is the Railjack equivalent of IPS, impact, puncture and slash, for your arc guns. So particle is puncture. Its damage will tear a hole in enemy ships and increase the damage that you will deal to them. Ballistic is basically impact damage and it reduces your enemy aim. Plasma damage is basically slash damage. This will strip enemy armor and shield values when you puncture a hole in that ship. So puncture and slash damage look like the powerful elemental combo to use right now on your arc guns. Strip armor and increase the damage that you can deal to them. Incendiary is heat damage, which burns them and deals damage over time. Ionic is electric damage, disables your enemy's flight controls and makes them easier to hit. Chem damage is basically toxin damage and makes them attack each other, kind of like radiation does in the normal game mode. And frost damage is cold damage and it slows ships down and freezes them in place. So right now, cold, slash and puncture are absolutely amazing. But knowing what all of these 7 new elemental types do doesn't exactly solve the problem of what happens when you combine 2 of these elemental mods together. So to get some clarity on how combining elements work for arc guns, I reached out to someone at DE and this is what I was told. These elements do not combine in Railjack missions on your arc gun like they do in normal missions. They also do not separate, giving you the benefit of both. If your arc gun is modded for radiation for normal missions, which is heat and electric, then for Railjack missions your arc gun will have the benefit of dealing that combined extra damage without the radiation effect or the radiation proc, that chaos effect that you normally see from radiation. So you get the damage boost without the elemental effect. No corrosive, viral, magnetic and radiation status effects ticking away on enemy ships in Railjack missions. Now heat and electric together won't break down into ion and incendiary damage either. So we're basically getting the damage boost of having those mods combined without the elemental effect. Now right now, IPS or particle, plasma and cold seem to be the best combination to go for against Grineer ships. That might change when we get Corpus, Sentient and so on in different ship form. Hopefully this will help a lot of you out in terms of understanding how to mod your arc guns. DE have said that they will do a forum post to better clarify how all of this damage works, but I would imagine that's going to drop after the Christmas holidays. And I know it's confusing, and it wouldn't be as confusing if they went and put this information in the UI for arc guns, which they didn't do, which seems like a massive oversight, which again with this update there is a lot of issues, so that's just one of them to add on top of the pile. There is still a lot more balancing, a lot more hot fixing to be done in terms of getting Railjack into a stable state. 2 arc guns right now in Railjack missions stand out head and shoulders above everything else. Both of them are high status weapons, so status is definitely the way to go with your arc guns, and both guns outperform anything a Railjack gun can do. But maybe that might change. They did say on last night's dev stream that they are looking to further balance the game mode. Now the Singus, which is the burst fire arc gun with a 30% status chance, which can lead to getting a 100% status with dual stat mods, is absolutely incredible. By the way, dual stat mods still give you the benefit of having the bonus 60% status chance, while also combining those elements together to give you a boost in damage, just not giving you the status proc. The other gun is the Phaedra, which has a 25% status chance and a much larger magazine in order to melt enemies with. Entirely up to you, the player, which gun you prefer. Again, like I said, they're looking to further balance this game mode, so other guns might get bumped up in terms of damage, and the Singus and the Phaedra could also get bumped down, we don't know. Again, hopefully this helps in terms of understanding how the elemental combos work and how damage works for Railjack. Do me a huge favour, if it did, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.